Hey everybody, welcome back to Alina of the Arena. This is the full release first run I've had. And unusually for me, normally for my Alina of the Arenas, I record an entire run in a single session. I'm actually back on a different day for this, so forgive me if I forget some things about my build right now. I vaguely remember that we tried to start off on this status effect build, which I didn't think is super strong. But now we've just picked up oil, so we kind of want to move towards this pyromancy build, because the oil is very strong. Power through is still really nice to remove, some fatigues in my deck, so it's not like we lean too much into the status effect build. We do have Lash Out in the deck as well, which is a bit unfortunate, but we can deal with cards like this. It's kind of a really bog standard deck at the moment. Where our power probably lies is with our charms. Crane Charm, we gain an energy each turn and we receive an old wound at the start of each fight, which isn't a huge issue because we also start off with Stormbracer, which gives me a rage and 3 sap. So we start our fights very weak, but we get stronger and stronger over time. So this gives me some time to really get rid of the wounds before we actually start doing some damage. We've also got a Hunter Bracer, which I think is pretty minimal, honestly. If I kill an enemy, I draw a card. This is pretty good against certain enemies that can spawn other enemies. Again, if you haven't seen my other... if you haven't seen the rest of the series, I guess, before the full release, there are a Slime Elite enemy that you can get on this floor, which will spawn multiple slimes, and that Hunter Bracer can actually really pop off against them. And then, finally, we are the Slave, which is kind of what I would deem as the base class. And we get 4 HP at the start of each fight, so that's quite a nice little passive. Also, it's really nice with the wounds, because the wounds just do a damage to you, for every single wound in your hand. So we can always take a wound damage if we absolutely need to, and Survival Instincts will let me heal that back off again. Then we have something I call the Meme Hammer, the Great Hammer. It's an area of effect weapon, increases my damage by 3, and its power move is it causes enemies to spin right round, baby, right round. Also has the Heavy moniker, so every time I play a combat of that colour, I put a Fatigue in my hand, and Fatigues are basically just dead cards in your hand that cost an energy to remove them. Then I've got a two-handed recurve bow, which again increases damage by 3, and its power move is I can do a knockback attack, which is really useful. Also, if I immobilize the target, I didn't really mention this before, it does 1.25 damage. But we have no way to really immobilize an enemy right now. We don't have any traps in our deck. I'm also holding Osafune right now, another two-handed weapon. This is a Katana. I mentioned last time I didn't want to really talk about this too much, but I guess I'll mention it now. Katanas have a different mechanic on them called Focus. So, at the start of each turn, you gain something called 2 Focus, and 2 Focus will increase the damage on your next attack by 1. And then all the stacks fall off. So you can wait and you keep building up focus every single turn. You have the Katana in your hand. And then you can smack someone with some big damage, but then you lose all your focus. So this is another one of the big builds, I would say, the focus build. But they can be nice. So I'm not against having this right now, but the Great Hammer will really start to come into its own on this floor. But we'll see where, the wind takes us. And then finally I'm holding this crossbow, which we had been using as a range weapon, but we don't really need it anymore, so I'll probably throw it at an enemy. And immediately, as if I asked for it, enemies that have AoE attacks. So these are perfect enemies to spin around with the Meme Hammer, because they're not just attacking the tile adjacent to me. So for example, this guy's using a spear, he's attacking these 2 tiles, he has reach. But I would be safe here where the rock is, or any other tile around him. The other 2 gladiators are charging me. This is what this arrow indicates. They're going to run at me, so they're going to end up on that tile. Another nice thing is, it shows you what order this is going to go in. So he's going to charge to here, then this guy's going to charge him, and then finally he's going to attack. This means I can exploit this. If I move here, which I will consider doing. I'll move to the rock tile first, actually. If I move here, now this guy is going to charge here. He will then charge onto him, so he will hit his friend for 30. And I think he causes a push as well, which is what this little, greater than arrow is symbolizing. It's going to push as well. So this enemy will end up here. Then the third one, because he's doing an area attack, it will go through and hit his enemy. If an enemy is just attacking an adjacent tile, this is again a little bit complicated. If he's attacking an adjacent tile, he won't hit an enemy, but if he has an area of effect where it's shown on the ground, he will always make his attack go through. So I'm predicting right now this is going to play out. He's going to charge, take 30 damage from this guy, He's then going to occupy the center square, and he's going to hit him for 43. So they're honestly doing my work for me. I could do other stuff, like I could push people around, but I really don't want to upset the balance right now. So I think I'm willing to just end turn. Now, one thing I can do again to min-max this just a little bit, focus transfers between weapons. So you have to have the katana to gain the focus. But I can switch to the meme hammer after this and use the focus on the meme hammer. So I'll put the katana out. Okay, it didn't actually work quite like I thought. I thought he was going to push him as well. But he didn't push. It was just a charge. Okay. So this guy nearly died. Right, another area attack, and then just this guy doing his own thing. Now, Osafune has a power move where you can attack in an area of effect as well, funnily enough. But if a target is killed, you keep half your focus. I'm not really huge onto the focus build right now, but my lash out is doing 10 right now. I think we play the wound. I strike you. And then I'll do the lash out as a power move. Actually, this doesn't make any difference. You know what? That was dumb. I was trying to keep one focus for the next turn, but I obviously lost it on the first attack. So it was a misplay, but it kind of didn't make any difference. Okay, so now you're doing 42 over here. You're doing 26 in an arc. If I hover over myself, great timing, you can see I'm taking 68 damage. So, what do I do then? Well, I could do something like this if I wanted to push people around. Shuffle here. Shield charge has a push on it and a charge. Now I've pushed this guy into a situation he's going to continue his attack on. He's going to hit his friend. And then, rather than get hit by him, I'll just move away over here. Play the wound. Play the fatigue. I could have, of course, just hit them. I was kind of just showing that if you push an enemy, they'll keep doing the attack that we're going to do. But it also works to my advantage. Right, another fun play. Shuffle here. If I throw a fireball here, it pushes him against the wall. If you push an enemy against the wall, it stuns them. So he's now burnt and stunned. This guy also got pushed as well, but it was kind of irrelevant. We can play the wound. And because this fireball wasn't a combat, I'm still gaining focus. So I've now got 6 focus. Right, I'm not going to worry about this guy with 65 health right now. Honestly, the oil is kind of irrelevant for me. So I'm going to just throw it. Oil is in an arc, by the way. Just in case you didn't know. So that doubles his burn to 4. It will get better, I promise you, but we don't have enough burn synergy right now to really make the most of it. Also, what was I going to say? Yeah, we basically don't have enough synergy to work with it right now. And also, it's just a dead card if I draw it in the future, so while I can play it, let's just play it. You may have also noticed, by the way, this katana is not a heavy weapon, so it's not filling my hand with status effects, which is very nice. Alright, we've had another pretty good draw here. We could have got a little bit stuck here, but we didn't. So I shield charge, which is a free action because I do damage. Then I hit you. Actually, let's hit you with the meme hammer. So that I get the fatigues now. I slam away. I power through. And already I'm +6 strength from, neutrality. And this guy is just dead. And we'll give him a little harvest. Okay, Brand is a very good card for the fire build. Especially a fire build built around the weapon. So this gives enemies pyrophobia. Whenever they take 1 burn stack, they take an additional burn stack. And I believe pyrophobia also stacks. So that's a pretty useful thing to have. Brand on a crossbow as well, you can shoot fire pokers. I like to call it the fire poker build. So I do like bow plus brand. Heavy rain is good, but you need another heavy rain in your deck to really use it. So if you deal damage with heavy rain, you'll draw a random heavy rain from your draw pile and reduce its cost to 0. If there isn't heavy rain in your draw pile, obviously this effect doesn't go off. So you want heavy rains in your deck. And we saw change tactics before, so I will take Brand. and confirm it. Katana is another type of katana. It doesn't have the arc attack anymore on the power move. Instead, it's just you keep half your focus when you kill an enemy. It's honestly just Osafune Light, so I won't take you, I'll sell you. And I think I'll actually sell this crossbow for the trap. So the trap gives me this immobilized status, which works nicely with the recurve bow. Also, since I need some time to set up, it's not too bad to be able to crowd control people. And they're pretty good means of crowd controlling, honestly, the traps. Right. First things first, when I look in a floor, I always try and find the rests. So there's a rest behind the elite here. I'm pretty willing to fight the second floor elites. Some of them are a little bit tricky. I mean, as you'd expect, it's the second floor. One of them in particular is very annoying to deal with, because he has something called precognition, which means that any attack you make against him, the first one he always evades. Fortunately, I have 4 energy, which is kind of a pretty good counter to it. Also, throwables are pretty good. But I would rather not fight him just yet, so I think I'm going to work up. It's actually a little bit of an annoying floor. Normally I try to get to a rest as soon as possible. I'm pretty happy to use both these meditates. Now, some people, and I've talked to people in the comments about this, they do the events first. That's their number 1 priority. Because some events give you a negative card, almost like a curse from Slay the Spire. And then you can use the meditate just to instantly purge them. I normally try and save the events for healing, because there's a lot of healing events in the game. And early on, the events are not too bad. The status effects you get in there, you can always just remove them later. But it's really up to you. You'll just have to play it by ear. Right now, I just want to get rid of these guards, honestly, so I'm just going to keep purging guards. Am I at the point now where there's no guards in my deck? I am, so now I can start purging strikes instead. Or I could purge a card that I'm not happy with that I've taken. But I'm still pretty content with everything I've taken, honestly, so I think I will purge more strikes. But let's do a mixed approach. I think I'm going to fight this elite as well. Okay, this is kind of an annoying guy, but he wasn't the one I was talking about. So this one does an explosive shot. So look at this, big area of effect. He's throwing fireballs at me at all times. That is scary. However, I have the answer to this-ish. Yes, I have an answer to this. Equip the bow, and this is going to be the power of knockback now you're about to witness. If I knock this guy back here, the fireball always goes 2 tiles away. That means he's on the edge of the fireball and it'll knock him back. And if you knock an enemy back into the wall, it stuns them. So now he's not hitting me. Then I'll play the wound, and reload costs nothing. And he's stunned for a turn, which is perfect for me. Honestly, this guy might just try and deal with using the bow. Or at least for a lot of it. Now, I only had 1 use of this recurve bow, so I can't do that play ever again. But the guy's fairly predictable. He's going to go here, I think. He's going to try and get a little bit closer to me. So let's brand him to put pyrophobia on him. Reload. Shoot. Play the wound. And we don't have anything to do with the rest of our 2 mana right now. Alright, his stun goes off. He gets additional burn. And he's trying to charge me, but obviously he can't charge at me right now because there's a trap in front of me because I predicted him. This all being said and done, it's actually a really bad hand for me. I'm basically doing nothing this turn. So I'll just watch him charge into the trap, I suppose. But remember, we are getting stronger over time. Right, this is the other thing he does. He throws bombs out. If you don't kill the bombs fast enough, he will... well, he'll detonate them. Right now I'm taking 76 damage. If I move here, I'd only be taking it off 1 bomb, which is still 38. So, obviously, ideally, I would like to take 0. 0 damage is good. But, and this is a pretty rare occurrence, honestly, I can push him around. Remember, I can push this guy. Now you're inside the bomb territory. I will take 1 damage from the wound, but as I said, the slave survival instinct will let me heal this back off at the next battle. So he takes 38, gets pushed, and now he's doing an explosive shot again. Okay, a slightly scuffed hand, but again, this is going to show you the power of shield charge. So I'm going to take another damage here, just FYI. Instead of hitting the guy, I'm just going to use it as a movement ability. It's 3 mana move, But this means I'm taking no damage this turn, other than the fire damage. I'll give him a little harvest as well while I'm here. Reload the bow. And honestly, I don't really need to throw a rock at you right now. I remember the burn is ticking up right now. The pyrophobia applies to the burn on the flaming tiles. It's pretty good. And now here's my other answers. Slam him to push him away a little bit more. That just moves him. Then I give him a throw dirt. And honestly, we can start smacking him now. Honestly, let's just use this. I don't need the status effects this turn. The Katana will give me extra damage next turn. If we kill this guy, by the way, I think the bombs don't detonate. This was something that was changed. You used to have to deal with all the little ads as well. I'm pretty certain that's how it works. Yeah, it just ends it instantly. They won't go off. They just disappear. Okay, so Flurry we lost tragically earlier on in the run. Born in Flames, you gain 3 block when you occupy a flaming tile at the end of each turn, and you ignore the effect of burn. This is kind of a weak power, but I think I might try and show it off because we have no powers just yet in the deck. So 3 block is pretty meaningless. It's really beneficial just so that I don't take burn damage, and I'm potentially going to set the arena on fire. Now, there are reasons to take damage. I mentioned this before. There are cards, and none of these have that effect, sadly, that say if you take damage, like, reduce the cost of this card by 1, for example. So you might want to take burn damage because it's one of the few ways you can just do 1 damage to yourself. And this is like anti-synergistic with it. We have no cards like that right now. You can also get braces which give you strength every time you get hurt, but I don't have any of those right now. So I might take this just for the fun. But I will say, I think this card is pretty bad. Even though it looks super synergistic with my build. I don't super rate it. Flurry, on the other hand, I really do rate. But we'll take Born in Flames just to show off the power as well for any new viewers. Now, I saved this rock again just to sell it. Searing Blowgun is pretty useful. That gives me another means to put Pyrophobia on enemies as a consumable. And I like that. By the way, just as an FYI, if you're wondering what the Demon Slayer Monker is, this is like a really small archetype. It's kind of weird. It looks like it was meant to be a larger group, but there's only a few cards that interact with something called Deathmark. If you kill an enemy with Deathmark, you gain an extra energy. That's it. And you can stack Deathmark up. There's like only... I think there's only 2 cards in the game that's like do an effect with Deathmark. One of them is pretty big. It's a power that makes you do 25% extra damage to enemies Deathmarked. That's the creme de la creme of that build. The other one is just apply 99 Deathmark. So it's kind of really weird, the mechanic. I would like to see it look slightly like... Not necessarily reworked, but I'd like to see some more integration with it, I suppose. But hey, that might be something that modders do. Anyway, this is Unlock the Rest, which I wanted, which is perfect. I'm now happy enough to work through this column and try to get to the other rest. I'll remove a strike now, and let's start fighting. Alright, this guy, he's going to send me flying, apparently. Possibly Trim. Okay, we have throwables and shootables, so I'm not too worried right now. I should also start battles with the Osafune. I'm glad I forgot to switch back. Because I now start battles with an extra 2 focus, which is 2 extra damage. I don't poo-poo 2 extra damage. That's pretty nice, honestly. Anyway, Harvest, Wound. Honestly, the oil is going to be irrelevant. I'm just going to burn it out of my deck immediately. He's going to grab me. I can shoot him with the blow dart. And I'll shoot him with the blow dart. Oh, that being said, actually, he's not doing any damage, though. I do have another out here, so I'm not too fussed. We'll do the other out then, which is throw dirt in an AoE, which interrupts. Very nice. Then I might as well shield charge you. It's 0 mana, do 1 damage, gain a fatigue. Born in Flames, so now I can stand in burning tiles, it doesn't matter. I kind of wish the buff was slightly bigger on that. Like, even 5 block would make me, you know, sit up a little bit more. But it's so kind of, like, weedy. Anyway, I'm going to put the Katana away again because I want to get a status effect this turn to power it through. Let's murder. Murder. Power through. I forgot about the wound. My bad. Doesn't really matter. Because I'll heal it next battle anyway. Okay, at some point we need to start working this guy down. And that time may be now. Move and get the bow. God, I drew 2 wounds. That's really annoying. That's just giga annoying. I'm going to take damage here, which I can't heal off the next battle. Put 4 Pyrophobia on him and get 6 burn. I'll pick up the rock. I'll reload. And because we unluckily drew the 2 wounds that are in my deck, I take 4 damage because I take 2 for each wound, if you know what I mean. In my hand. Had I not drawn the other wound, I would have only taken 1. But we're still effectively, after all this said and done, we're net, I take 1 damage. Who cares? Anyway, let's push. One thing I forgot to mention about this, by the way, and it's not going to play a huge impact on the run right now. Shield Charge gives me something called Barricade, which means I keep half my block for the next turn. So if I put up a big chunk of block, then did this and got Barricade, I would retain some of that for the next turn. This is kind of the premise of the block build, and why this is pretty good in the block build. But we're really not using it this run. We're basically just using it as a movement slash do a little bit of extra damage slash move. Hopefully you've seen by now the movement abilities in this game, kind of strong. Kind of really, really, really strong. Anyway, I think I'm going to blow my 1 more trick as well here. And I don't need the meme hammer right now, because I can slam away. Let's take a strike. Strike, 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 and then we'll just slam away. There's one of the first shields I've seen from the spike shield. So you see that shields, all shields in the game have this barricade monitor that I just discussed. Also, instead of having a damage on it, it has a shield, so this would increase block I generate on my cards by 2. Using, you know, that weapon's colour. This one also gives you reflect, which means that you do, like, that amount of stack of reflect damage back. It's pretty minor, honestly, but at easy difficulties, it's actually pretty nice. It's pretty fun, honestly, the block build at lower difficulties. It just takes too long to set up at higher difficulties, in my opinion, to be worth it. Anyway, this guy's taking 14 damage, and by the way, the burn happens before the attack. So I only need to do 22 to him, which I do have. So let's kill him. Hit him. Hit him. So he's dead now. I'll wind up and end turn. And now we just have to deal with the channeler. Move. I'll power through, play the wound. I know I could have gained another permanent strength, but the Katana damage is also probably good enough right now. Shield charge is at 20. It's free. Deal 20 damage. Wind up. Brand. Very nice little build so far. Okay, defend is gaining a decent amount of block. Pretty good value, 10 block for 1 mana, but it has to be an opener. So it's kind of like, do I move or do I defend? Jab is kind of weird. So it again has this free hit moniker. So if you use it and hit someone, it's cost nothing. So it's like, it's really good for the combo builds because it's like 0 mana do 1 damage, but make the combo raise by 1. If you don't play it, it self-exhausts. However, if you do play it, it puts another jab into your deck, so you can really fill up your deck with jabs, which are kind of shit. So, I've never really got a build for the jabs to really pop off, but I think there is definitely a wombo combo there. And I don't really think much of Tough Nut. I'm actually just going to skip here. Also, I just need to pause the recording just for 1 second, sorry. I'll be back in a second. Apologies, I'm back again. Right, what do I want from this? The rock I'll just sell. I mean, the Spike Shield is kind of pointless right now. I literally have no cards in my deck that give me block. Lightning Potion is interesting. So, this gives me a thing called Energize a status, which lets me play status cards for 0. Not just fatigue statuses. So, I think that's worth taking because I could get rid of my wounds for free with it. So, that's going to be good for a battle. Again, I don't think this is something worth holding. I'd probably say this is one of my big tips for a new player as well. Unless you're holding a weapon for like other situations, and this is kind of like the most amount of weapons I would hold, which is 3. Like I've got a ranged weapon, I've got an area effect weapon, and I've got a weapon that does a little bit more damage. Realistically, I probably don't need the Osafune that much, but it's kind of nice right now since I've got away from the status effect to build a little bit. Also, the meme hammer is kind of a good defensive option too. There were times where I would like hold onto a healing potion, especially for like an entire floor, a regeneration potion for an entire floor. Just blow those things, just use them, because invariably you'll find something else that's almost equally as good, like very soon afterwards. Fine, if there's like a fight and then a boss and you feel like you can get through the fight without using like, you know, your heal 35, you think you're going to take 1 damage, or you can heal for 35 and you wouldn't take the damage. I don't know how this situation would arise, but just bear with me. Then fine, maybe you save it for a battle, but just don't hold it for an entire floor. You invariably get better stuff. And on certain builds, like if you go back and watch my videos where I get, especially a combo build, I will just keep throwing out everything in these 3 slots, including weapons. I'll just hurl them at everyone, just to recycle them as quickly as possible. Anyway, right, so we have this rest. I think I'll take this fight on as well. I might wait on the elite, though. Okay, this guy is someone else I have to be a little bit scary of. So this yellow circle with like a brick on it or a stone, this means this enemy's massive. You cannot knock this enemy back, so I can't push him around. So that takes away one of my defensive abilities. This is why I think movement is stronger than knockback. But knockback is equally pretty strong. There are very few enemies with this massive, but unfortunately a lot of them are bosses. This guy isn't a boss, it just happens to be an ad with this moniker. He's also spiky, which means if I hit him with a melee attack at close range, he hits me back, but only for a little bit of damage. Anyway, I don't have something I would readily throw right now, which is a shame. However, I do have the recurve bow, which I could use to push this guy away instead. So I'm actually pretty content just to stand next to this guy. And I will... Actually, let's get the beam hammer. I will brand you. I might be able to kill you this turn, actually. I'll hit you. I'll wind up. And then I'll lash out and kills you. Do I want to take the wound? You know what? I don't. I'm going to play Energize to get rid of the wound, and I'll get rid of the fatigue. I can then get rid of it on this turn as well. Just be careful though if you do this, because if you play the wound at 0 cost, you'll lose your initiative. It still has opener on it, even if you play something of 0 cost. I've made that mistake many times before. Anyway, let's move on to the health potion, grab the health potion. I will play the wound. I'd like to play Born in Flames as well. That's my power, so that's now a passive on me. And I'll throw a fireball here. This will push this guy a little bit further away. He won't get pushed, but he will get burned. And I'll just slowly take his health down a little bit more. Okay, double slam's kind of obnoxious. I should have also switched to the Katana there. I missed 2 damage for this turn. But it's not going to hugely matter. It's actually a really scuffed hand, honestly. Okay, I'm going to move here. I'm going to drop the health potion for a second. Then I'm going to slam over here so that I can actually do something this turn. Because this guy's attacking down, so he's not hitting me where I am right now. Then I'm going to play the wound. And I'm going to hit him. Then we're going to get him blocked because we're suddenly in a flaming tile, and that's now the effect of flame immunity, or Born in the Flames. Sorry, 3 block. Which is basically nothing, because these guys are like, you know, they're hitting for 43. Right, we have our oil now. Which is nice, but it's still not really helpful. I think I shuffle over here, I grab my bow, I play my wound, I shoot you, I reload, I shoot you. I am getting trapped in the corner a little bit here. But we should have some answers coming up fairly soon. I can also find them with this hand. But I don't really need them. Okay, since I've grabbed a health potion, or there's a health potion on the floor at least, I think I'm willing just to hit Spiky Boy a little bit. Also, I think I'm willing to just hurl this at you. But I'll hurl this first. I'll throw dirt to cancel your attack. I'll hit you. That hurts me. I don't have Harvest, sadly. Then I'll wind up and lash out. It's not that much damage, but every little tiny bit helps. Okay, I can make this guy hit his friend. Shuffle here. Power through. He's now going to do an area of attack to there for 43. And then we power through to gain 1 strength. And now they're doing the Rook maneuver. They're trapping me in the corner. But all I need to do is 10 damage to break the Shield Gladiator. Which, fortunately, we have. Now, the baller play, if I do have the damage. And I don't, but I don't actually need it. If I had 46, I could kill these two at least. But because of the effect of the Meme Hammer, I can spin both these attacks around. Maybe like a record baby. So now no one's hitting me. But if I do it again, they'll spin around again. So I need to make sure I don't have the power on. Which I don't. Then I swing into you. And then I swing into you. Notice, by the way, there I drew a card because of whatever the effect was I talked about earlier. The Hunter Bracer. Anyway, let's do one of these. Harvest you for a little bit more energy. Thank you very much. I'll then do one more trick because I don't really need it in my deck anymore. 4, so 1. So I would like to grab something that has an energy cost on it, which will give me a status effect. I'll hit you. And you can see right now how the spike is really like causing me issues. He had no burn on him, but I don't want oil in my deck anymore. Its purpose has been served. Now he's going to guard, but if I hit him, it interrupts him, I believe. Well, irrespective, I'm hitting you, so. Wind up. Smack. This is healed 20, so I'm happy enough to hit you one more time. Oh, it doesn't interrupt. I thought this would interrupt. Okay, I'm wrong. I apologize. It does say if you hover over them, like, this is interruptible or this is not interruptible. If it's a gold circle, it's never interruptible. Ooh. Okay, so there's an interesting card here. Backstab is very good. So this it does have opener on it, which is normally very restrictive. So it's 0 mana, does 4 damage, but it applies vulnerable, and vulnerable is insane in this game. Increases the damage received by 50% for 1 turn. The reason I say this card's kind of interesting is if you upgrade it, it does more damage, but it loses opener. So this can be a very nice card, especially in the combo build. It's almost like a main staple of the combo build. I wouldn't say I desperately need it, but equally I wouldn't say I didn't want it. Final Blow is fully upgraded and still sucks, so it's now 6 damage and raises by 3 each turn. It's not bad, but you have to bear in mind it's also costing you a draw each turn. And it's just not good enough as like a finishing maneuver, in my opinion. We've seen Heavy Rain already. I think I'll take Backstab, though. Then, by the way, you can just use potions immediately. And I think I'm going to. I'm just going to drink it instantly, so I don't have to hold it. Okay, and we've got a nice little chunk of change now for the next shot. These stab beasts you have to be super careful. And look at the damage these guys are doing. They have pretty low health, no armor, but he's hitting me for 42 damage. That is mental at this stage in the game. They are extremely nasty enemies. Another reason why knockback and stuff like it is extremely useful. Okay. I should really have had Osafune equipped. My bad. I'm considering pushing this guy over here just to get out the center of the arena. It's normally a good idea on the first turn to not still be in the center of the arena. Because these guys, I think, also have, like, 2 movement. Another thing I kind of don't like, you just get used to it, though, that certain enemies can move 1 tile, some can move, like, 2. I think some can move 3. These guys can just fly around the arena. So, I think if I stay here, I will literally be surrounded next turn. If I move down here, there's a chance that, well, he can't get to me, the Hammer Gladiator. He can only move a tile. I know that. But I think these 2, one of them will touch me and the other one won't. So even though this does no damage, I think I'm going to push him with Shield Charge. Also gives me a Fatigue, which isn't the end of the world. Then, I guess if I'm going to do that, then maybe the Great Hammer is fine. I'll brand you. I will then latch out. I'll also throw a rock at you. I'll play the wound, and then see you later. Equally, I don't really love being, like, pinned against the wall. But this side of the arena, pretty safe. He can only move 1 tile. You probably can get next to me again. And I don't think the other 2 can get close to me. Yeah, so they can move 2 tiles. So, all in all, I think we made a pretty good play there. Now, here comes fun of the meme hammer. Not only do I use it defensive, I can also use it for the offense. If I stand here and do a little meme like this, he's still going to hit me because he attacked every tile adjacent to him, or an enemy in any tile adjacent. This guy's now hitting both of his friends and pushing them. Sorry, this arrow is the push symbol, not the greater than symbol. I think that's just a charge symbol. My apologies. But that's hitting them for a huge amount of damage that I now don't have to do. Then all I need to do is find 17 damage to this guy, which is easier said than done. Or I could find some sort of push. But can I get you? I can also throw dirt to interrupt or slam away. 17 health. So backstab would take you to 11. The strike would then do 9, which is 20. No. What am I talking about? The backstab will do 6. The backstab will do 6, the strike will do 9. 6, that's 15. I could throw a crossbow at you. I think I'm happy to do that to stay here. So, and I should do it like this. Backstab. Strike. Throw a crossbow. Oh, it doesn't kill you. I can't count. Okay, we slam away then and take the wound damage. Or I slam into him and throw a crossbow at him. They're both acceptable plays. But I think I'll just move over here. That's a my bad moment. Oh, I know why. Sorry, this is doing -1 strength right now still because of the sapped. That's why I didn't get the 2 damage. Either way, I've ruined their day, so I'm pretty content with things. Anyway, let's start moving and grooving. And I guess I'll shoot you. Play the wound. Maybe I should have wound up there, but I'm kind of going for a wind up, hit people in an area of effect right now. I will say the stab beasts have kind of really weird movement. If they get very low, they kind of like play keep away with you a little bit, and then eventually will come and attack you. Anyway, let's shuffle over here. Let's get a double kill. Thank you very much. And you know what? I'm going to play the wound, but I don't think I need Burning Flames at all. And I'll equip the Katana so that I get the focus. Okay, we just have this guy with some big health. However, I can now stun him. And I'll do it with the meme hammer. Push him into his friend. They're both stunned. Excellent. Then I give you a little smack. I lash out at you. I play the wound. I play the fatigue. It could equally have spun him around, but since this guy only has 2 health, I was like, I don't really care. And now you're going to see the power of backstab. I didn't need to move this turn. He's now vulnerable. This is 30 damage. That's pretty strong. I think I'll get rid of the oil again. I don't really need it. And now he only has 36 health. We still have the meme hammer hit as well if I need it. And why not use it? He spins around. I hit him. But you can see here why I don't think the fatigue deck's particularly strong. We have some fatigue enablers. And I just drew a handful of fatigues. It's astonishing how often that happens as well. Like, I had however many cards at that point? 27 cards, was it? In my hand at that point. Maybe 28. No. I have 10, 3, 6. I had like 23, I think. 22, 23. And I drew 4 fatigues. It's kind of insane. Anyway, you're dead. Okay, so I might take this. One of the few block cards that are actually kind of fun to use, and this is better when you have an area of effect weapon, is Parry. So Parry's 2 mana. You deal like 6 damage, which seems pretty bad, but you get block equal to the damage you dealt. If you have an area of effect weapon and you hit 3 enemies, you could potentially do like 18 damage, which will give you 18 block. So 2 mana, do 18 damage, get an 18 block. Really good. So this can be actually a pretty powerful answer. And this also works with stuff like Vulnerable. So I think I will give Parry a go. Itsun, by the way, is deal 6 damage. If you deal damage, you keep half your focus. This is really good for the focus build. But we're not really going towards that at all. Then I think I'll hold a weakening trap over the Demon Slayer crossbow. I'll just sell it. And I want to start next battle with the Osafune. Because then you get 2 focus at the start of battle for free. Right, give me an event. You there, please come. Oh, sorry, it's Morpheus. You there, please come. A man in shades calls for your attention and slowly unfolds his palms to reveal the red pill in his right hand and the blue pill in his left. And gestures for you to pick. I can either increase damage received... I can upgrade a card and I will take more damage from the next fight, or I can remove a card and I'll take increased damage. This event is kind of spicy, but on the second floor I'm definitely going to do it. What am I going to upgrade? Oil. I've literally not used it yet, but if we can get the fire build going, it's insane. It turns it from double to triple. Just bear this in mind. Like, right now, I can put, like, you know, maybe 10 burn on an enemy with a nice little pyrophobia play. If we get the burn build going, it will be reasonable to suggest that we could put up, like, you know, 30 burn fairly easily. Tripling it is 90. That means they're taking 90 damage per turn. Well, 90, then 89, and so on and so forth. That is an enemy's ass. If you can throw oil on them, you just need to survive. Anyway, we take 50% more damage, which now definitely means I'm not doing this elite. I'm going to fight just a normal room. And let's show you the item shop for a change. So this is the item shop. You can buy weapons. You can buy consumables. You can re-roll as well if you're not happy with anything here. You can also upgrade the stat on your weapons, which is a really nice thing. If you get a weapon you really like, synergizing with your build. Brilliant. Upgrade its stats. You can also put power moves on them. This is very powerful for stuff like the meme hammer, for example. Giving us another use on it is insane. Now, I have immediately seen this Y-hander. So this is a weapon that's pretty rare it comes up, honestly. And it has the effect as its power move that Parry has on itself. And this can be a pretty good defensive option rather than the meme hammer. This is probably one of your best enablers of the status effect block, like, combo build. Which is a very unusual build. Like, I don't think I've really ever had this to work before. But I've heard tell of it, which is actually probably one of the strongest status effects builds. I'm not going to go for it right now, but it's just interesting. If I'd seen this a lot earlier, I might have gone in that direction. What I think I'm just going to do, though, is I'm going to put a power move on the meme hammer. And this costs a lot, but it's well worth it. Then I'm going to put a power move on the recurve bow. I didn't even do it, did I? Which has knockback on it, which is another good defensive tool. Notice how much I'm trying to do to keep myself alive. And then upgrading the stat, so it costs 50, then 250, then I think it's like 400 and 600. you get used to it. But I'm pretty happy to put the meme hammer damage up. And then I have 200 left. I'll give me another meme hammer stat. You might ask me why I didn't upgrade Osafune. Honestly, even though I'm starting with it, I think out of my 3 weapons right now, if one of them I had to lose, it's Osafune. That one I could reasonably swap. Anyway, we only have 3 gold now. You can also sell items, by the way, just to clear up space, but we're not going to do that, obviously. And that might be the only time I visit an item shop this game. Sometimes I do it earlier if I've really not got a good weapon. There are occasions I've got to the boss and I've like got, you know, the rusty dagger and the rusty shield, and I'll take an item shop just to try and purchase a weapon. But normally you find like a decent weapon on the first floor, so I'd say you probably want to get cards over items. Anyway, remember I'm still taking 50% extra damage. Let's have a fight. Alright, right off the bat, he's charging me. So if I move here, he's going to charge onto this tile. And he's going to get shot by his archer friends, which is phenomenal. In fact, he's dead if I move. This guy is just attacking the tile adjacent to him, so I don't need to worry about that unless they move next to him. Which, funnily enough, I'm not going to. So let's move here. Equip the bow. And why not? Take a little pop shot at this guy. Play a wound. Reload. He charges, he gets shot, he's dead. Just perfect. Now, this guy's charging me as well. However, if I move... Oh, he is actually charging that tile. I was going to say maybe he'll charge into the trap, but he won't. So this is not his first rodeo. What I can do, though... Fuck. It's kind of annoying. By the way, you can't have 2 items occupying the same tile. If I throw a trap here, it'll destroy each katana. But I guess I can put it here. I can put a trap in his way, now he's going to charge into the trap and take damage, which is also pretty good. Let's wind up Brand. So now you have Pyrophobia on you. Reload. Play the wound. I'll harvest you as well. And then I'll end turn. Now, the reason why I wanted to trap him, and I've trapped him here particularly, is if I move, he's now getting shot by his friend again. Which is fantastic. So, remember as well, I get better over time. So I'm fairly content to do this dance round game. I'm also just going to swing at nothing and gain 1 strength over reload my bow, because I really don't think I'm going to need the bow again. Anyway, you get shot. Right, you throw some traps, which are very annoying. And again, remember the 5th of November. Now, remember, I can always spin this guy around at any opportunity if I feel like I need to. For example, right now. I don't have a great play. I'll spin you around, and now I'm taking no damage. I can play Boarding Flames, I can play the Wound. Oh, just another note, sorry. If you attack the floor where a trap is, you'll break the trap. So you can clear traps yourself. You can also throw stuff at traps to pop them. It's pretty rare that it comes into play, but sometimes you do need that. Anyway, these guys have 3 range, so I can just move here and not take any damage. I'm slightly annoyed now that I haven't got my bow equipped, or bow reloaded, because I could stand here, hit this guy. Actually, I can do it. Wait, can I do it? What I want to do is kill this guy. No, I'd have to reload, kill, then reload again. Yeah, I can. Okay. If I could reload, and I think I'm actually going to do that now, and get an attack off, I could have pushed one of these guys into the wall, which would have stunned them, so I could have stood here and just killed this guy. It's kind of minor. Again, I'm going to pick up a pocket rock, a floor rock, because I can sell that for 1 gold later, because I'm pretty certain I'm going to beat this guy now, or these guys. They really don't have too many answers against me. Speaking of which, let's shoot you, I guess. Reload. So this guy's gonna move and then hit me, or try and shoot me, but that's fine by me. And I guess I'll just play the fatigue. Because now I can just back off and shoot them again. Or I can just start smacking them. And then slam away. You're dead. Slam over here. What have I got in my draw pile? Shield charge, fireball. So occasionally I do this. So one more trick is probably not going to ever be drawn again for me because I'll kill this guy next turn. So I'm just going to draw a card that I don't need. Just so that I don't draw into it next turn. Which hopefully improves the quality of my hand. Anyway, this guy's now going to get stunned against the wall and just bullied. Bully, bully, bully. And bully. And bully. It's a bit of a shame so far. I've not really picked up any more fire cards. I was hoping to will one into existence. Okay, swing has knockback. I don't feel desperate for knockback right now. Harvest can be nice, but I think if we're going to start grabbing more harvest, it goes towards the combo build more than anything else. It can be nice with a status effect build though. Really, to enable it, I would have to start picking up draw cards, which do exist. I think I might grab it, though, still. And, you know what? Give me a grappling hook. This is a fun item. You can target a wall and pull yourself to the wall, so it's a pretty good movement ability, honestly. I'll take it. Anyway, we've also take 50% more damage as well, which is fantastic. Let me see another event. An unhinged cleric slowly walks up to you and asks without reason, "Dear child, do you seek fortune or blood?" Although he speaks softly, his voice is full of madness. So I can lose 15 HP and gain 150 gold, or restore 15 HP and lose 150 gold. I don't have the gold, nor do I need the HP. But you know what? Take 15 of my precious health points, and I'll take 150 gold. That's a pretty good deal. It makes this shop actually usable now. And then I'm going to go for the elite. So this is probably the easiest elite on this floor. This is the slime that I promised you. Which is great. I didn't have to fight Precognition guy who's very annoying. So, Mother Slime, she prepares a Mega Crush, which is just like a fireball attack. It's just a big area of effect damage. The little slimes do a clone, so they'll copy their stats, which is very annoying. Unfortunately, they're very susceptible to squishing. So we'll do some squishing at some point. That being said, just at the start, because I said we don't start off super strong, let me just push you guys around a little bit. He takes a little bit of damage, so his clone will have a little bit less health. This Mega Crush does have a range associated with it, so I don't think you can hit me from here. Even if you can, I now can reach the wall with the rope hook to pull myself away. Yeah, they can't hit me. But if you get stuck in the middle of that and you don't have anything other than initiative, you're taking 37 damage. That's scary. This also looks like a great opportunity for some parrying. For example, this parry right now is deal 24 damage, gain 24 block. That's pretty good. I'm taking 55 damage, which is obviously not ideal. But hey, if we parry Protective Ward, we take 0 damage. And do a lot of damage in the process. So I think I'm going to do something along those lines. I'll hit you. Hit you. I'll get all the kills. I don't need to Protective Ward this turn. I'll play the wound. I killed 2 enemies, so I drew 2 cards thanks to the Hunter Bracer. We can wind up. And for the first time this entire run, I think, I'm blocking damage from an attack. Would you look at this? And now this remaining 5 block will go away. I do get a status when they attack me called Slime, which you can't play and will just eliminate. And it makes movement cards cost 1 more. So there is a reason to not be hit by them. Right now this slime is going to do a heal, but I don't really care about it, so you can do you. Honestly, I just want to deal with this last slime. So let's shuffle here. Let me give you a little slap. To power through or to not power through. I could also just go and grab an attack here, like Harvest. Yeah, give me Harvest. This will give me another energy back. Now I can play Power Through and play the Wound. Again, I've mentioned this so many times. So he heals the boss for his health, by the way, and now he's going to clone. That's kind of the cycle of this boss. But like I said, by the way, for all of this, we're getting stronger every turn, so the longer this fight gets drawn out, the better it is for me. Anyway, I'm going to lose Backstab, sadly there's no way around it. I will play the Wound. I'll hit you. It's kind of annoying when this guy clones, but I can't really do anything about it. I'll strike you again. So there's going to be 2 slimes now with... Oh, I thought they took his health. Okay, only takes 40 max, I guess. Have they changed that? I thought he literally split him in half. Oh well. Anyway, he's preparing a Mega Crush right now, which I really don't want. So, I'll shuffle over here. I'll interrupt that, if you don't mind. I'll give you a little slap. I'll wind up and lash out. Okay, he wants to do his Mega Crush maneuver again. Can we do 40 damage this turn? Possibly. Brand. Strike. Harvest. I killed someone. Interesting. Power Through. So if I hit this guy, it hits me is the problem. What I could do, and I think I'm going to do, is rope hook away. Not a great use of the rope hook, but as I said, I don't like save my cards. That gets me far enough away that I don't think he can Mega Crush me anymore. He can't. And he's burning. Now I can equip a bow. Which has a power move on it still, so I'll just do this. Use the power move. Get away from me. Reload. Play the fatigue. I am going to take 1 damage for the pleasure of doing all of this, but it doesn't really matter. And now he wants to do a clone. And I won't let him. Shoot, and shoot again. Okay, Clarity. Gain 1 focus whenever you gain block. This can have some really funny meme builds when you take stuff like Boring Fire and so on, and there are some cards which are like, if you move, you gain a little bit of block as well. There's actually quite a lot of power cards which is like, do a small thing, get a small amount of block. If you put Clarity on top of that, you can get a really good focus, but it's so hard to set it up. It takes a lot of time. So I'm not too keen on that. I'm not feeling too desperate for movement right now. I do kind of like roll, but not that much. Think Fast is draw 3 cards exhaust. It's Hyper Pot of Greed. I'll take it. It's basically never bad. Shield Potion M, gain 14 block. Do I value that over a throwable? I don't think so. I think I'd rather have a throwable at this point. Anyway, we heal 4 into the next battle anyway. I could also choose not to fight this fight and gain 5 HP back. We'll see. Right. What next for the train? So Fireball will put an additional burn on, which is okay. Brand puts another Pyrophobia on and does a little bit more damage, which is okay. Think Fast becomes draw 4, but it still exhausts. One more trick doesn't exhaust anymore, which can be fun. Let me see what... Oh, Backstab is another good tempt. In fact, maybe Backstab at the moment is the biggest temptation. Because we're not quite there with the Fire build. Removing Opener on Backstab, very nice. Then, let's look for cards. Low Blow is pretty good. So this is another interrupt. It does a small amount of damage, but the target gains strength. Also, this has an effect called Deteriorate on it. Because Low Blow used to just be too strong, insanely strong. If you had like 3 of them in your deck, you could just permanently like stunlock an enemy. So now it deteriorates, so it costs more and more each turn. Raise Shield gets better the more you use it. It's actually not too bad in the block build if you can keep a little thin deck. but I'm not very good at keeping thin decks. I actually think I'm going to reload this because I'm really looking for a fire card. Another oil is funny. I'm going to take it. I promise you, this is an insane card. I'm just getting unlucky right now. I'm actually going to do this other fight now as well. I was considering just avoiding it, because I get 5 health if I don't do it. But just try and give me a fire card, please. That's all I ask for. Okay, a little bit of a spicy start here. But I can get out of it, fortunately. Okay, that does 1. Smack. Smack. I should really think about this a little bit more. I think you're the priority to die, and I'll hold the rock instead. Then I'll slam over here and wind up. We'll take 1 damage from the wound, unfortunately. But it let me put out some pretty good damage that turn. Very annoying that I got another spiky enemy, by the way. It kind of guaranteed that I was going to take some damage this fight. Anyway, let's do one of these. Fireball, power through, wound. With two oils, it's actually potential that maybe we can start to put actually some reasonable amount of burn on an enemy. Alright, let's move here, throw a rock at you. I'm going to interrupt you. Play Board in Flames, play Wound. We're looking for oil. Oil plus a movement ability. I guess that is what I asked for. Alright, we're going to play a little bit... Actually, hang on a minute. No, we can make this work. Brand? Yeah. Brand. Reload. Throw oil. And then push him away with Harvest. He has massive on it. Okay, we've made a huge mistake. I say a huge mistake. I'm going to take 28 damage, which is obviously a lot. It's more than I think I've taken any other point during the run. But we can recover from this. On Hellwalker 20, I firmly believe you can make a mistake. Well, you can make a moderate mistake and recover from it. And I will say this was a moderate mistake. Think fast. 28 damage. I think the safe thing to do is move over here. And equip this and end turn. But he traps me in the corner this turn. This is why we have protective wards. Okay, it looks bad, but we can get out of this. Ish. Oil him up even more. So he's going to die in roughly 9 turns. Well, actually, maybe he doesn't. I don't think 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 actually goes up to 93. But I could be wrong. We have to do this. And I think I do a little power through instead. So we're actually only taking 7 damage here, which is still a lot. And he stunned me. Because he pushed me into the wall. Unlike the enemies, I just get this card, which makes all my movement cards cost 1 more. But I can eliminate it. Which I will do. And I will get rid of this wound. And I'll play a little wind up. We can win this with a bow, honestly. He's still ticking down. Parry's another good way out of this, honestly. We're a little bit unlucky in a sense of how this is being drawn. Fireball could have been nice, the slam's also nice for movement. But I can hit this guy for 44 this turn. That gives me 44 block. I take one from the spiky. I can then hit him again. I take one from the spiky. He hits me for 31, I take 0 damage. And now 10 more damage will break his armor and will cause him to get stunned. But this was a little bit spicier than I would have liked. I will admit that. Reload. Backstab. Reload. Harvest. Do I want to run into him? Take 1 damage? Do 15 to him? I don't feel the urge to. I'm pretty confident I can kill him next turn. With the bow. Yeah, I only do 12. The burn will kill him. That's also good enough for me. Wind up, play the fatigue. Alright, we're getting out of this. Tail between legs slightly, I will give you that. Well, one more trick, just some form of attack so that I can reload. And I'll finish you with a katana. Chop. That was all because I forgot he was massive. Okay, Last Stand is interesting. This does more damage. It's another status effect enabler. Does more damage for each status effect in your deck. Oh, sorry, my fatigue in your deck specifically, not status effect. This is kind of... It's good, but I wouldn't normally pick Last Stand and Lash Out. Personally, I don't like to have the fatigues like linger in my deck, so I think I've got the better of the two. We've seen full attack, we've seen change tactics. I'm just going to skip. We are suffering right now a little bit from, you know, I've kind of tunneled in on a build. We're going to heal here, by the way, which isn't a full, it's only 35, but still pretty good. And this is the Ice Queen. She's a very scary boss, by the way, but the burn build counters her, which is partially why I was trying to get this build, burn build to work, because it is her counter. Anyway. Let's do some meme shit. Right off the bat. But yeah, we focus on a build too much is what I'm trying to say. I've just not got enough burn cards right now. I need more things that say just like apply burn. And I promise you they exist in the game. Move here, throw a trap over her head, shield charge her into the trap. Hey, you can't charge me anymore. Then comes an interesting question. The question is, do I fireball myself? And I think the answer to that question is no. I think we just start smacking. And play the wound. So we haven't seen it yet, but her effect specifically is she covers the floor in ice tiles, which are a bit like slimy again. It means that if you move through them, your moves cost 1 more. It's very annoying. The reason the fire build counts is because you create flaming tiles, so you overwrite the ice tiles. And then the rest of her build is like area effect moves. Personally, I think she's harder of the second floor bosses. There's 2 bosses at the end of each floor. I think she's the harder of the second floor bosses. Also the newer one. And I like her sprite more, so I'm quite happy to fight her. She's also pretty well countered by the meme hammer, so let's just spin her around, baby, right round. Like a record baby, right round, right round. Then we'll start smacking. Smacking. Smacking! We heal for full at the end of the battle, so if I think I can beat her down, I should honestly just accept the wound being in here. Honestly? We're going to play the wound. Slam her into the wall, it stuns her. This weapon, by the way, is one of my favourite weapons in the game. It's the Knuckle Dagger. The power move is when you make an attack with a combat move, it does the damage twice. This is the best enabler of the combo build. And actually, we're pretty good on the combo. We hit a 6 combo that turn. That's pretty good. We're kind of straddling the lines of multiple builds, honestly. Which is what this game can be really fun for. You can enable multiple builds on the same run. Anyway, this turn I think I'm just going to accept the 1 damage from the wounds, just so that I can get stronger faster. Right, she's had enough. Frost element. So she does like the other guy did. She creates these bombs, so to speak. They do 24 damage in an area of effect, and then they'll create an ice tile on top of that. So they're also pretty goddamn annoying. I think this is going to show you as well how good, and not how good, but why move is so good in this game. Because I can just fucking get out of this and ignore it. Right, see you later. I'll take this floor rock as well. What's the next card I'm drawing? It's a wind up. I'll do it. I'll blow my 1 more trick. But I don't think I play it this turn. I think I parry you. I think I accept taking the 1 damage. It is a bit of a risk, I will admit this, because potentially in the future I'm going to have 2 wounds in my hand. And as I said, the wounds do 1 damage for every other wound in your hand, including itself. So if I draw 3 of them, I think there's 3 in my deck right now, they'll be doing 3 each. Oh no, there's 2. So I could take 4 damage at a turn from them. But as I said, if I can beat this lady, we get to full health anyway, so who cares? Alright. Strike. Strike. Throw some dirt in her eye. I'll throw the rock at you as well. And I can now break you this turn. Push. Harvest will break you. Now, we have to accelerate. We have to start killing faster than we are right now. I'm a little bit worried my DPS isn't actually high enough. I think I picked too much stuff towards the fire build and it's just not come to fruition. Not helped that I drew 2 oils in my hand for a turn. Because she's not going to put armor up against. That was basically my 1 stun for this turn done. And here's the frost effect. Okay, now we have issues. So my initiative costs 2. I say we have issues. Backstab parry is... it rounds down, I think. I think it's 28 block. I can also spin her around. Actually, I think we just take the damage this turn. Yes, 28 block. The thing is, though, I kind of want to fireball her as well. But I think I won't. Because that will then override the burn tiles. It does hit me for 16. But if I was going to do that, I should really have spun her around so I didn't take her damage as well. So we take 12 here. She'll put a Frostbite into my deck, which is just a dead card in my deck. And I don't think you can get it out, so it's very annoying. This time I will spin her around. I'll play the Board in Flames mainly to get out my deck. We'll wind up, play some Fatigues. Okay, this is the bad territory. Move, pick up the Knuckle Dagger. We strike at nothing, I power through. My strength is plus 14 right now. She hits me for 40. I can not take damage this turn thanks to parry. Have I got kinetic on? I do. I'll show you. I'll show you how we game in our territory. Let's do the power move, the Knuckle Dagger. I do 88 damage and gain 88 block. It will all decay at the end of the next turn, but still 88 damage is really good. Now, can I kill you this turn? This is the problem. I have got a protective ward. I can also spin you around. I think we're good. 75% less damage on 40. That's, quick maths, 30. I'm actually going to do protective ward then. I will live on 1. What did I tell you as well? Sometimes the 1 health is all that... I actually got lethal. But sometimes the 1 health is all that matters. If I didn't have lethal that turn, that gives me 1 more turn. Oh my god. So Ground Slam is the newest card that was added to the game. It was added just before the first release, the full release, sorry. And it's really fun. It's like a huge movement ability. It's a bit like the Mother Slime Mega Crush ability. We have to take Fire Surge. I've been begging for burn abilities, and this is one of them. This is a really good way to put burn on multiple enemies. We just have to take them. I've built in that way. And despite the fact that this Knuckle Dagger did some wonderful work for me, I think I'd rather have a crippling blowgun than a Knuckle Dagger, so I will sell it. Now, do I want to increase my max HP by 14? Yes. Do I want to make a random card in my hand at the start of each fight be reduced to 0? That can be pretty powerful. Or, I gain an energy each turn, but cards can no longer be removed through Meditate. This can be pretty nice, honestly, because I'm hitting to get to the point in the game now where I'm not desperate to remove cards anymore. I've only got 2 Meditates anyway, so I'd be effectively saying I don't remove 2 cards anymore. I could still potentially add cards to my deck, and it would just give me an energy. It's risky taking this early, but late, and this is as late as you can get it. It's pretty good. This being said, though, the Crane Charm isn't really causing me that many issues, so I think I might take the Fortune Bracer, because if that hits like a Parry, for example, and reduces it to 0, it just changes the complexion of a fight. I have enough cards that are 1 or more, and enough interesting cards that are 1 or more, that I think we can make the Fortune Bracer work. And I think I will get rid of the Hunter Bracer. I think this is so minimal. It doesn't really help you versus the final boss either. And this will heal me back to 70. And this is the final level, the Royal Arena. Now, you may notice when the floor plan comes out, there's this weird purple crystal here. This Soul Shard. Gain the right to challenge the Demon of the Arena. Well, maybe we'll do that next time. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you've checked this game out, because honestly, it's fantastic. And if you're not, come live through it vicariously through me. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.